In today's video, I'll be walking you through everything you need to know about Google Docs. I am Dorothy Bennett, MMO, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe to this channel. Click on the bell notification so that you be notified when I drop a new video, alright? So without further ado, let's dive in. First off, what is Google Docs? Google Docs is a free cloud-based word processor from Google that lets you create, edit, and share documents online. Alright, so instead of saving files only on your computer, your documents are stored in the cloud so you can access them almost in any device. So what are the main features of Google Docs? Alright, some main features of Google Docs we have one, real-time collaboration. Alright, so I'll be talking more about real-time collaboration, which is a feature of the Google Doc at the end of the video. Alright, now the second feature of Google Docs is automatic saving. The third feature is sharing control. Alright, you can choose to either share the documents to someone and they can view it as yours, or you can choose to share the document with someone and you can invite them to be a collaborator. Alright, so that gives them control to actually edit, not just view but also edit your work. Okay, so if you're working in a collaboration with someone, so you can share it and give them a control of an editor, so they'll be able to edit the document. Alright, so the next feature is revision history. So unlike your Microsoft Word, Google Docs gives you a history of and revision of what you've done so far. And then the last but not the least feature of Google Docs is compatibility. Alright, so Google Docs is exceedingly compatible. Alright, so now what is Google Docs used for? Alright, so now Google Docs can be used to write essay or report. They can be used for note taking. They can be used to create resume. Okay, they can be used for collaborating on school or work projects, and they can be used for drafting letters, meeting notes, and other documents. So now, how do we actually access Google Docs? Alright, but before we talk about that, okay, if you're watching this video, click on the link in the description of this video. You will find our digital product that we crafted. Alright, it's a nicely crafted digital product, so you choose anyone that resonates with you and get it. Okay, it's also a way of showing support for our channel. Alright, so without further ado, let us continue with the video. Okay, alright, you can access Google Docs in two ways. The first one, you can either go to your Chrome browser and then you can search docs.google.com. Alright, it takes you to this front page that you can see here. Alright, and then the second option is you hover to this dot there and then you click, then you scroll down, then you see Google Docs. You just have to click on it, then it takes you to this front screen that you are actually seeing right now. Okay, so now we can start a new document, but to do that we can do that various different means. Okay, we can either start off with a blank page. Alright, we can start with a blank page, or we can use the make template, which is either this one right here. We can edit from there, or this one, or this one, or this one, or the last one. Alright, so we can use either of these templates. So I'll be starting with the blank page. Alright, so I'll have to click on it, then it takes me to a fresh blank page of Google Docs. Okay, so this is where we'll be editing from. So now the first thing I'll need to do is to edit the title of my document. Alright, so I'll have to put it top right there, and then we can edit the title. Alright, so I'll be using let's say, what should I use? I'll be using let's say beginner, um, yes, content creators tips. Now the good thing about Google Docs is that it constantly saves your work automatically, so you don't need to keep pressing Control S to save. Okay, so this is actually our work space. The space is in the course of BP, so you can literally start typing whatever you want right here. Okay, you can just type in anything you like right here, but that's not what we'll be using. We're going to be using something else. I just have to paste the work I get from my website. So now this is what we'll be using for this video. Alright, so we will starting from the very basics, okay? And then the first thing we'll be talking about is the undo button. Okay, so how do we use an undo button? Let me give an instance. For instance, you're typing something, let's say, just type in anything. Okay, just type in anything, and then if you don't want to, you want to undo what you've typed, okay, you can easily click on the undo button and you undo whatever you've typed. Okay, and then for instance you changed your mind and you want to redo what you just undo, you can click on the redo button to redo it. Okay, so that is not for undo and redo. Okay. Now the next section is the print. Okay, if you want to print your document, this you're able to. This is the spelling and grammar to check your grammatical errors and spellings, and then the paint, which is not relevant right now. Now we can take note of the normal text. Okay, now this normal text, it shows that all of this text right here is normal. Okay, so for instance, we want to make some changes. We want to make some changes, we can just highlight the text, then scroll down to normal text, and then change it to title. And instantly, that text becomes our title. Okay? So supposing we also want to change it to a subtitle or a heading, it's the same thing, we highlight and then we change it. So now suppose we want to change the font, we highlight this, then we'll click on that font right to the RN. So we'll scroll down and choose any of this font. Alright, so we can literally choose any of this fonts right here. So let's go with the impact. I think let's choose the impact font, and you can see now our font has changed to the impact font. Alright, now let's try adjusting our font size. Okay, so we highlight this and then we go close to our font. You see the minus there, and the more we click it, our font begins to get smaller, right? So you're reducing the font size, and if you want to increase it, you click the plus button and it increases. So now we can make this bold. Okay, you can also make it in tally, and you can also underline it. You can also change the font color. Let's choose them, right? And then I think we can also highlight it as well. We can highlight it. Okay, so now let's undo everything. That's not what we want to do right now. So let's undo this, put back our black. Let's undo the underline, let's undo the tally, and then let's undo the bold. Now the next thing we'll be talking about is let's talk about the link. Alright, how to add a link to your edit on Google Doc. So we have to underline any word. Let's use this launch for instance. All right, so let's highlight the launch, and then let's make it, I think we'll make it bold, or in Kali, let's make it entirely. Then let's grab the link that we would like to add to this. Now let's go to my website. Click on my website, copy the website URL, and then go back to Google Doc. So now we have to click on the link, and then we'll paste the URL of my website there and apply. So that's for that. We just added the link to the website. So now when this link gets clicked on, it takes our users back to my website. All right, so that is that for linking. Okay, all right, let's talk about adding comments. So I think comments is not really necessary. Let's talk about how to add an image to your document. Okay, so to do that, we'll first of all find an area where we want the image to be added. First on this area right here, then we have to click here where we can either upload from our computer, or we can search from the web. We can use Google Drive, we can use link. So let's use upload from the computer. Then we select an image from my computer and we'll be adding right now. So this image for instance, so you can see the image is crazily large. All you have to do is to readjust it. Okay, so now let's try to readjust this image. If you click on this image right now, I will scroll up, you see there are some dots at the corners of the image. Yeah, so he can literally click and drag any one of them. Okay, so now let's go to the bottom. Let's scroll down to the bottom of the image, and then literally drag this one closer. Let's see, the image is getting readjusted. Okay, still need to reduce it again. So okay, so now we can see it is a bit smaller, but now let's make it in a rectangle. Reduce this and increase the width. So now you just see it. Okay, so now if we click on this other dot above the middle one, you can see we can actually rotate it. Okay, so now let's undo that. Let's undo the rotate. Okay, so that is literally that. For that is how we add an image to our documents. Okay, right now let's quickly talk about alignment. All right, so let's highlight this area, then click on the align. You see it's already at the right. Okay, so but we can actually align it to the middle, to center. Okay, so let's click on the align to the center, and you can see it's at the center right now. I'm also trying to align it to the left. Okay, and you see it's at the left. Now let's bring it back to the right. It is supposed to be. Alright, so that's that for alignment. Okay, now let's talk about justifying our document. Okay, so now if you click right here, you can see justify here. Okay, now we have to select all of our documents, then we can then justify them. Now you can see the documents now look pretty organized. Okay, so that's that for justifying. Next up, we can talk about lining our spacing. You can either choose a 1.15 or a double line spacing. No, you can choose to add checklist if you want to. All right. Now we can choose the we can go over to the bulleted list. Okay, so add a bulleted list. First of all, let's look for an area where we want to add the list. All right, so click on it. Then we can, let's say, type in our list. Okay, so for instance, TikTok, TikTok. Adding TikTok as a list, and adding YouTube as a list, adding Instagram as a list, adding Facebook as a list as well. So that is that for the bulleted list. Okay. So now let's highlight and delete the bulleted list. We don't need it. We're just giving instance. Okay. So let's talk about file. So under the file, you have new own, make a copy. All right. Now let's talk about share. So you can just share this with others, or you can publish it to. You can publish it to a web, okay? And also you can email it to someone else, or you can download this document as well. So you can either download it as a Microsoft Word document, or a PDF document, or a TXT file, okay, a text file. So that is not for. You can rename it as well. So now the edit section, we've talked about it, the undo and the redo, and basically everything. So here we've talked about view, we've talked about it as well. Now the insert, you have the image, okay. You can also insert your table and links as well from the insert page. So now the formatting as well, there's nothing much to talk about. So we've literally talked about every other thing here. So in the beginning of the video, we made mention of adding a collaborator. All right. So to do that, we have to add a collaborator. You have to go to the share. You have to click on it. All right. You have to click on share. Then you can either search up whoever we want to add on the search bar, and then we can add them directly. Okay, so we just search in your emails, then they will be added. Okay, so or we can also just click on the share again. This time we can copy the link. Okay, but to do that we have to change this restricted. All right, we cannot make it change it to anyone with the link. All right, so as soon as we click that, we know that we can now copy this link. But before we do that, if you look by the if you look here, you can see there's a viewer. So if we copy this link, all right, then send it to someone, they will only be able to view this document. All right, they will not be able to make changes to the documents. They can only view the document. But when we share again, all right, now change it for view. Now I'm changing the viewer, all right, to editor. Okay, so now when we change it to editor, all right, and then we copy this link and send it to someone. Okay, we send it to someone, they can now be able to edit this particular document. Okay, you can add changes. They might decide to add title, add a different image, do whatever they want to do with the document, because you've given them the right to do so. You've invited them as a collaborator to edit the work as well. So that's it for the video, guys. Now remember to click on the link in the description of this video to purchase any of our digital products, okay? So it's also a way of supporting this channel, all right? So if you have any question or any aspect of the Google Doc that we did not make mention of, all right, you can leave that at the description of this video, all right? And I would say have a nice day, okay? We'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm Dorothy Bennett, MMO. Peace.